welcome to 9 p.m. shift as a Wednesday witness to happenings around Nigeria and on the global scene, treated with the extra touch of fine detail, covering all the angles of issues affecting our daily lives. Tonight, states confront issues of insecurity with collaborations with key agencies and the traditional institution. A growing trend of vandalism of national assets and a big push back from the law. House Committee on the Recovery of Public Funds to wield the big stake. Also tonight, the Nigerian waterways and the labyrinth in the quest to paddle across the challenges. We will have a conversation in the course of the bulletin. We also have specials on health, agriculture, sports and infrastructure. It is an eclectic menu for the next 90 minutes. As you know, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Elizabeth Omori and welcome to News Extra. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to represent President Bola Tinubu at the G77 and China Leaders Summit in Havana, Cuba from 15th to 17th of September 2023. In a statement by the Director, Information Office of the Vice President, Olusola Abiola says he will be joining other world leaders, including the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, at the summit to deliberate on development issues facing members, mostly from the global south. The summit will equally explore proactive ways of addressing challenges facing the development of member states, leveraging science, technology, and innovation to enhance socio-economic growth. Vice President Shettima would, on the sidelines of the summit, hold bilateral meetings with other world leaders to promote Nigeria's trade and investment relations in line with the economic development diplomacy of the Tinubu administration. The Havana Summit is being hosted by the President of the Republic of Cuba as chairman of the G77 and China under the theme Current Development Challenges, the Role of Science, Technology and Innovation. Nigeria is a founding member of the G77 group, which was established in 1964 by 77 developing countries. To transportation, a robust transportation sector is no doubt key to economic development. No wonder Nigeria is in a hurry to become the aviation hub of Africa through improvement of air transportation infrastructure. This assurance Aviation Minister gave when he delivered President Tinubu's message at this year's African Aviation Summit and Exhibition in Abuja. Aliyu Kabir reports that genuine partnership with critical stakeholders strategy on the table by the government to improve transportation infrastructure in the country. Aliyu will now tell us more.
The 7th Annual Aviation African Summit provided an opportunity for all the critical stakeholders in the sector from across the continent and beyond to brainstorm on the way forward and to address all forms of challenges in the African aviation sector. Conveying the message of President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, underscored the importance of a huge investment in the Nigerian aviation industry, saying the government is fully committed for partnership. Areas of concern, he added, include upgrading the facilities and other infrastructure, aircraft maintenance, and the total overhauling, as well as forex availability, among others.
These are the areas we're looking at. Upgrading our infrastructure. For emphasis or elaboration, this includes upgrading the CAT-3 landing system at major airports, construction of the second runway in Abuja, which is about to commence right now, airport improvement programs through concession, and government willingness to partner with companies to turn major airports into aerotropolis.
We have almost 1,500 participants that have registered from 92 countries. I dare say there are very few events that we have that many countries that have participated in an event in Nigeria. So we're showcasing the Nigerian land with the declaration of the government to make Nigerian aviation the centerpiece of African aviation, so that we can take our rightful place as the #1 country of aviation in Africa.
The Egyptian Minister of Aviation, Lieutenant General Mohammed Abbas, alongside other critical stakeholders from the International Air Transport Association, IATA, African Civil Aviation Commission, AFCAC, African Airline Association, AFRA, among others, reaffirmed their determination to work in synergy towards developing the global aviation system, focusing attention on the African continent, taking into cognizance its vast potentials. At the exhibition, the minister inspected various pavilions of the global air carriers and the stands of other key players of the industry. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
To fund recovery, the House of Representatives has vowed to ensure that all remittances meant for government are paid to the Treasury single account in the Central Bank of Nigeria. This was stated during an investigative hearing by an head of committee on identification and recovery of public funds in financial institutions and government agencies. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
8 commercial banks appeared before the committee to respond to allegations of non-remittance to the Treasury single account from the September 2015 deadline. The committee accused some banks of defaulting to others, as most of them had discrepancies in their submissions.
The bank defaulted in days on TSA transfer with cumulative amount totaling 564,583,837.98. Was the bank penalized for the default in transfer to TSA? If yes, how much?
Sir, when the TSA was implemented, the bank complied. That's why I said the bank was not in default.
You are making reference to Ganashi order.
Yes.
What is the status?
So it hasn't been withdrawn yet from the courts, to the best of my knowledge. I think we have about 2 or 3 of them that are under Ganishi. And it's stated in the report we sent.
A kind permission, I'll work through our record and check this listed MDS and make sure that we provide the statements as quickly as possible, sir.
A mild drama took place during the hearing as the chairman of the committee ordered for the detention of one representative of one of the banks for his managing director's failure to appear before the committee.
Clerk, stand there. Hand this man over to the sergeant at arms for detention pending the time the MD or the ED will arrive. Madam, you can go and tell your bank what you saw.
Members expressed displeasure with the responses received from the representatives of the banks, asking them to reappear before the committee this Thursday. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigerians have been urged to be patient with the federal government and anticipate legislations that will directly impact the masses when the National Assembly reconvenes from recess later this month. Senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, Ireti Kingibe, stated this during an interaction with the media in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikben reports.
Being one among only 3 female senators in the 10th National Assembly, Senator Ireti Kingibe says lawmakers understand the deluge of expectations Nigerians have on the legislature, particularly to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy, which is taking a toll on Nigerians. She assures that lawmakers will live up to expectation in the coming weeks and months.
By the time we return, we will have well-defined legislative agenda, individually and collectively for the 10th Assembly. And as I said, we are dealing with a lot of security issues in the country, poverty, environmental issues. So the issues on ground are what is going to define for us what kind of legislative agendas we must have.
On the growth and development of the nation's capital, the lawmaker expressed readiness of the legislators from the FCT to work with the minister and recently appointed mandate secretaries to uplift the livelihoods of citizens. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
in the House of Representatives describes as baseless and untrue a statement credited to the National Assistant General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Christopher Onyeka, alleging that the National Assembly members were given 100 million as palliatives. Reacting to the purported allegation in a statement, Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotimi Jr., clarified that at no time did members of the House of Representatives receive any money from the executive arm as palliatives. It describes the allegation as malicious, saying it is another attempt at inciting the public against the National Assembly. The House spokesman notes that the 10th Assembly has so far demonstrated commitment to the welfare of Nigerian workers and remains committed to advancing the well-being of all Nigerians. In other news, 2 people have been confirmed dead as a result of a boat mishap at Kwantan Malam Adamo in Gorin-Fufore local government area of Adamawa State. Yusuf Jika reports that Governor Hamadu Umar Fintere, who commiserated with families of the deceased, gave a directive for the enforcement of regulations of operations on inland waterways.
The boat conveying over 40 passengers capsized due to heavy windstorm, claiming 2 lives. 12 were rescued, while rescue operations are still ongoing to get the missing persons. Governor Amadou Marufentri, who was disturbed on the unfortunate incident, visited Green community to commiserate with the family of the victims. He promised to provide life jackets to passengers directed for the enforcement of regulations on operations of inland waterways in the state.
It's an accident, but an avoidable one. It has happened. We are taking measures to ensure we put some safety nets around the canoe business, particularly at this terrible time of the year that we're experiencing serious rainfall, a lot of thunderstorm, a lot of windstorm.
The district head of Green, Abubakar Baba Green, thanked Governor Fintri for the visit and assured him of the support of the traditional institution for the development of the state. In Yola, Yusuf Jika, Nta News.
Now, in the past months, Nigeria has witnessed an alarming recurrence of boat mishaps and accidents on the nation's waterways. The tragedies echo a long-standing turbulence which could drown the promise of a viable water transportation sector and thriving age-long connection between communities in the country. With 28 states linked by water borders, ferries, skiffs, canoes are naturally in business, but in this business, safety and profit is what you need to stay afloat. Dr. George Mohalo is the Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority, and he will be speaking to us. Dr. Mohalo, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Now, it has been a tale of boat accidents leading to fatalities this past week. Adamawa alone with 2 in 1 week. Dr. Mohalo, this is disturbing.
All right, yes, I would like to begin my response by sending the authorities' condolences both to the people, the government and the people of both Adamawa and Niger states about the incident that has just happened in a few days back. It's quite sad. We're very saddened about it, particularly for the families. We send our sincere condolences and we assure them that we are in this grief together with them. It's quite painful. In some instances, it's avoidable. And we are doing the most we can to ensure that this does not continuously happen. We feel very worried about it.
Okay. You did promise stiff penalties to operators of boats not observing safety standards after the mishap in Yari, Kebbi State in 2021. What has happened between then and these recent tragic events?
Yes, between that time and now, NIWA as an authority, we've done quite a lot with regards to averting incidences like this. We have upped the ante with regards to sensitization, which we think is very key and primary to get people to understand how to operate their vessels, how to operate in the waterways. Just like any other means of transport, there are codes, there are principles, there are laws that must be obeyed to avoid situations like this. And we're doing quite a lot in that regard, bringing in new marshals at all loading points within the country, getting our police more actively involved because NIWA has a police unit. We're also collaborating with other security agencies to enhance and to enforce protocols. We've even secured, by the grace of God, the approval of the National Transport Code, where we have greater, more stringent penalty for offenses that has to do with committing any offense that has to do with water transportation within our country. We provide life jackets, we do sensitization, we send marshals across the country so that they can be able to help us enforce these regulations. We'll continue to do that, we'll continue to enforce it, we'll continue to do our best and getting our people to key into our vision. Since I have this platform, let me use the opportunity to appeal to our people. Let us at least obey the basic protocols. For us to operate on the vessels, it must not be outside the time as provided by law. We must wear life jackets and be properly kitted before we enter vessels. The vessels should be river-worthy. We now have in our department a department that certifies vessels. We have upped the ante with regards to training. Not too long ago, we had trainings in Lagos, we had trainings in Badagry, we had trainings in Warri, we had trainings in Port Harcourt, in Calabar, and then in Yauri. And we are continuing to do that, spreading across the country within the limits of the resources that is available to us. And we'll continue to do that. But there is the need for our people to please buy into these consistent messages we have been sending. Let us obey the protocols. Like I've always said, anytime I have this platform, a majority of the accidents that happen on our waterways are avoidable. Okay. There are consequences of human error. Either overloading, either they operate at the wrong time, either they use the wrong vessels, or that the non-qualified boat operators man these vessels. And with this new transport code now, that the punishment is more stringent, now people can go to prison for up to 10 years for violating any of the offenses. Now vessels can be impounded and destroyed if we think that they are not river-worthy. Now, so there's quite a lot of improvement. Okay. Especially with the approval of the transport code.
All right, Dr. Mohalo, still on compliance, how do you intend to monitor compliance? That's very key, because safety is key.
Yes, well, we agree with you very much that safety is key, and we're laying a lot of emphasis on it. Like I did say earlier, we have a newer police that we have. Today in our country, we have 23 area offices. And within these area offices, we have police units that operate on our waterways. The authority has provided patrol boats, which we distributed to all our area offices for them to be able to enhance their monitoring capacity. We have also provided search and rescue stations. We are targeting to build 23 search and rescue stations. We have completed 11, and they're all functional now, where we can respond on-the-spot responses with regards to challenges that come up on a regular basis. So we have developed that, and it's functional now. And we have gone to the extent now, because we know we don't have enough police to go around. What we have now done recently is to recruit marshals. We call them water marshals. Kit them properly and get them to help us in enforcing our regulations. We decided to choose these marshals from the local communities where we have loading bays, jetties, and quays and ramps. We are choosing the marshals from those local communities because they relate more, they communicate more with the people who are operating these vessels within their local environment. They prefer to work, we prefer them to work in the immediate areas because there's the advantage of easy communication, there's the advantage of trust because it's a major element. Trust, because they believe in their people, and when their people tell them, don't do this, they will tend to listen more than those of us coming from outside to come and give them conditions and give them and try to enforce protocols. But when we're using marshals, we have more results, we achieve more results.
All right, Dr. Mohalo, quickly, how do we navigate out of these troubled waters of capsizing boats, passengers and operators?
Yes, we continue, for us to get out of it, just like any natural situation, accidents certainly will happen. But what we are saying is that we want to bring it to the barest minimum. Now, we will continue the sensitization we are doing. We'll keep emphasizing it, we'll keep selling it, using all means of communication that is available, including using local town criers to get people to key into what we are doing. We'll keep procuring and distributing on a larger scale life jackets. We keep educating people on how to use these life jackets. We keep monitoring and ensuring that vessels are certified, registered and certified. Now we have gone electronic. Now you can even electronically register vessels, certify vessels and register them within NIWA, because we are digitalizing our processes so that we can, wherever you are, these vessels can be electronically certified so that we can even monitor your vessel from our headquarters. So we are doing that. So we keep doing these things we are supposed to do. We keep ensuring, insisting that protocols are obeyed. Vessels don't move in the night. Vessels don't move early hours of the morning, because a good number of the accidents that has happened during these times. And these vessels don't have night navigational aids. Vessels should not be overloaded. If the number is 10, carry 10 or even less. Not going to carry 20 or 30 in a vessel that is designated to carry only 10 passengers. We keep telling them it is better that these vessels go 3 trips than for them to go 1 trip and get drowned.
Yes.
So we prefer the vessels go 2-3 trips rather than going 1 and not come back.
And not come back. Dr. George Mohalu, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for enlightening us. Thank you for your thoughts on the issue before us. Thank you very much.
My pleasure as always. Thank you.
Now, to the judiciary, stakeholders in Abia State have commended the judgment of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Umuahia, which validated the victory of Senator Orji Uzo-Kalu as the duly elected senator representing Abia North Senatorial District. Stakeholders, which include party stalwarts, socio-political and traditional groups, both at home and in the diaspora, were unanimous that the judgment by the 3-man panel led by Justice Samson Paul Gan is a true reflection of the mandate of the people of the senatorial district. The tribunal had in its ruling dismissed the petition of the candidate of the PDP, Mao Onwa Bonwa, and that of the Labour Party, Namdi Orji, for lacking in merit. The court also validated the eligibility of Senator Kalu to contest the election, as all issues relating to his earlier trial had been quashed by the Supreme Court. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu train station in Apapa will be completed within the next 3 weeks in order to sustain the momentum of the railway transportation in the country. Minister of Transportation, Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali, made this known at the end of his maiden familiarization tour of facilities of the Nigerian Railway Corporation in Lagos. Joel Bokwola reports that technology will be deployed to ensure security of passengers.
The Nigerian railway system has been going through transformation to ensure easy movement of passengers and goods to every part of the country. The Minister, Senator Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali, and his team experienced a serene train ride from the Mobolaji Johnson train station in Ebutemeta, Lagos to Kajola Station in Ogun State, where he had an opportunity to have a personal experience of the prospects and areas of improvement. With an estimated population of over 200 million Nigerians, a robust rail transportation system is not just going to ease the burden on the roads, it will also contribute meaningfully to the nation's economy. Actualizing this agenda will be the focus of the new administration. While briefing the media, the minister says completion of all ongoing projects will be vigorously pursued, while more stations are expected to come on board.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu train station, we said 3 weeks. To fix narrow gauge, Lagos Kano, we said 3 months. Mina, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano. As it stops in Ibadan. So they are going to continue with the work from Ibadan to Mina. But meanwhile, before we can achieve that standard gauge, we intend to put the narrow gauge into use for passengers and cargo.
Security, according to him, will be given utmost priority.
We intend to engage some security firms so that they will put some gadgets on the train that will further enhance the security situation of the train and of course the rail lines.
For stakeholders in the sector, the prospect of Nigerian railway system is brighter.
Land Airport in Kano is actually one of the major beneficiaries of a functional rail service, and the Honorable Minister has confirmed and has given clear direction for the rail, particularly the existing narrow gauge, to become fully operational.
The welfare of workers in the Nigerian Railway Corporation is another salient area the minister has promised to give accelerated consideration. In Lagos, Joel Bokwola, Nta News.
Addressing the root causes of 13 years of security challenges in Borno State is a task Governor Zulum considers a priority. Hence the inauguration of 2 mega-sized vocational enterprise institutes and equipping 3 of others yet to be inaugurated in 100 days of his second term in office. Mohammed Goni in this special report tells us more on the development.
A productive population is a panacea for the development of every society, just as idleness begets all forms of social vices. Youth unemployment and poverty, among other factors, were said to have contributed to the over a decade-long insurgency, hence the continued attention of the present administration in Borno to address the 2 social challenges. In 100 days in office, Governor Bagana Umar Zulum inaugurated additional 2 mega-sized vocational enterprise institutes in Biu and Shani local government areas in southern Borno, each of which offers up to 15 different trades to equip youth in the 2 areas with skills to make them useful members of the society.
Borno State, under my leadership on assumption of duty, decided to construct and equip TVET centers in the state with a view to training our youth so that they can earn their means of livelihood by themselves. The state government has also rehabilitated 19 smaller technical and vocational training institutes in the states.
In the period under review, 3 other vocational enterprise institutes in Gubio and Magumeri local government areas in northern Borno and Mafa in Borno Central Senatorial Zone have been fully equipped preparatory to their inauguration. As part of efforts to ensure social protection and livelihood support, Governor Bagana Umar Zulum in 100 days scaled up humanitarian intervention to vulnerable and less privileged households across the state. In the exercise carried out by the Palliative Distribution Committee, mostly supervised by the governor, to ensure transparency.
They are here to plug up the distribution of the palliatives to 100,000 vulnerables under the residential initiatives. So 100,000 will benefit from a bag of rice each, in addition to the 300,000 vulnerables that will receive palliatives in Borno State under the Borno State government scheme.
Borno State government scaled off the number of beneficiaries of the palliative distribution from 300,000 households across the state to 400,000 following federal government's palliative intervention targeting 100,000 households. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, Nta News.
Now let's talk security. The British High Commission is to support the development of a unified multi-agency anti-kidnapping strategy to stem the tide of crime in the country. This was the focus of the workshop organized by the National Counter-Terrorism Center in the Office of the National Security Advisor. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Kidnapping, a deadly crime, is on the increase and assuming a different dimension. Records from the defense headquarters indicate that more than 700 people were kidnapped in the last 3 months. Apart from generating illegal wealth from the social vice, funds from kidnapping is partly used to fuel terrorism and banditry, particularly in the Northwest and North Central. This multi-stakeholders forum is to develop a central template for security and relevant intelligence agencies on anti-kidnapping.
The proceeds of kidnap for ransom have continued to serve as a platform for financing terrorism, not only in Nigeria, but across the Sahel. It's no longer just kidnapping for criminality, it's criminality as an occupation to support other kind of occupation, which are, of course, illegal occupation.
Proliferation of agencies is not a problem, but let us have a framework to define how we're going to engage.
We can have a national multi-agency fusion center with defined rules based on jurisdictions, based on individual organizations' mandate, and all of that. And I think if we do it, Nigeria will be better for it.
We've got a framework, and we're building on this framework, and we're going to come up with something which will define what the multi-agency kidnap fusion cell will be and what it will look like.
In the renewed collaboration, the media is taken to task journalists by being part of the drive to stem kidnapping.
The media, no doubt, is overly germane to helping in building the kind of relationship that this center desires in setting records straight on the effort of our security agency in the protection of life and property in the country.
This platform is to, among other things, enhance synergy between the media and security agencies. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
Thank you, Ismail. We need to be more security conscious. Now, the government of Niger State is leveraging international partnership in addressing the disturbing attacks ravaging some parts of rich water bodies and arable lands in the state. This is coming as the state prepares to host an investors summit aimed at unlocking economic potential and creating surplus for consumption and export. Abubakar Akwanga tells us more.
Niger, a state endowed with vast arable land and solid mineral deposits, but gradually being undermined by violent forces. This is what the government will no longer tolerate, as it says to attract dread foreign investors.
A ministry has been created for nomadic and pastoral affairs to engage the Fulani herdsmen so that they can understand that they can be better, if they are doing ranching. A lot of hybrid grasses have been brought in from overseas. We already have an initiative with the CBN where we have 33,000 hectares of land have been prepared in Bobby Grazing Reserve, and another 25 in the Moba Grazing Reserve, so that we can have these animals domesticated. This one. So security wouldn't be an issue. The military, the federal government, the state government were in collaboration, and as you know very well, this is not things we should discuss in the public.
Migration from fossil fuel to renewable energy, exploration of solid mineral deposits, reduction of carbon emission, afforestation program, and massive job creation will top agenda during the summit.
The theme of this summit shall be Sustainable Future, Harnessing Green Assets and Innovation for Niger State's Prosperity. This encapsulates our central vision and purpose of the Niger State Green Economy Initiative. It communicates the state's commitment to the sustainable development of its valuable natural resources.
The summit also promises to attract experts across various fields to interactive sessions that will put the power state on a vantage position beyond the ambit of resources it already had for optimal economic benefits. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, Nta News.
Away from security matters, President Bola Tinubu sends warm greetings to the Alaki of Egbaland Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo III on the occasion of his 80th birthday. In a letter personally addressed to the Alaki of Egbaland, the president wrote, "I share in the joy of so many Nigerians in celebrating another milestone with you and your family, the Council of Chiefs, sons and daughters of Egbaland, as well as friends and associates from the public and private sectors. Your Royal Majesty's track record of service to our nation has been inspiring, exemplary and commendable, most notably beginning with your distinguished and meritorious career in the military, which saw you winning many medals." President Tinubu praised Allah to grant him more years of joy, health and strength to continue in the service to the country. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu extends profound condolences to the government and people of Libya in the aftermath of the devastating impact of Storm Daniel and subsequent flooding, which severely affected the eastern regions of the country. The president commiserates with families who lost their loved ones and wishes quick recovery for those injured. The Nigerian leader assures the great people of Libya of Nigeria's unwavering solidarity during these trying times, adding that this heartening loss of lives, homes, livelihoods and critical infrastructures remain shared grief. You're still watching News Extra. Let's take a break now. More reports ahead for you when we return. To stay.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat you guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, It's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Bidda Emirate Council cordially invites you to the 20th anniversary of the coronation of His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Yahaya Abubakar, CFR, on the throne as the 13th Etsunupe and Chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, scheduled to hold on Saturday the 16th of September 2023. Chairman of the occasion, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, retired, former military president, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Mohammed Umar Bago, Executive Governor, Niger State. Royal Fathers of the Day, His Eminence Alhaji Muhammadu Sa'ad Abubakar III, CFR, MNI, Sultan of Sokoto and Chairman, National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria. His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi Ojaja II, CFR, the Oni of Ife, and Co-Chairman, National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria. His Imperial Majesty Oba Eware II, CFR, Oba of Benin, and His Royal Majesty Igwe Nnemeka Alfred Ugochukwu Achebe, the Obi of Onisha. Come, let's celebrate His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Yahaya Abubakar, CFR, on the throne of his fathers. Announcer Alhaji Kasim Umma Yewa, Baradeyaki Nupe, Chairman, Central Organizing Committee.
Shuari 2 Community Primary School in Maiduguri was newly built by the administration of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum. The school was commissioned by Vice President Kashim Shettima.
This community schools
The school consists of 20 classrooms, an administrative block and staff quarters for management and teachers. The school has sporting facilities for football, volleyball and a playground. Fully fenced, landscaped and flowered, the school has electricity, street lights and water facilities. Shuari 2 Primary School is one of 77 projects delivered in 100 days by Governor Zulum for the advancement of basic education in Borno State.
On behalf of the entire good people of Sokoto State, the seat of the Caliphate, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto FCNA welcomes the Jigawa State Governor, His Excellency Malam Umar Namadi, to Sokoto on a one-day official engagement on Thursday, 14th September 2023. While in Sokoto, His Excellency Governor Umar Namadi will commission some township roads reconstructed by Governor Ahmed Aliyu-led administration within its first 100 days in office. They include Kwari, Zaga, Jaredi, as well as Isa off hospital routes, which will take place by 2 p.m. The entire people of Sokoto State, the seat of the Caliphate, are saying, Lale Marhaban Dazuanka.
100 days after the mantle of Nigeria's leadership fell on you, you have shown leadership, courage, and political will to bequeath to Nigerians the Nigeria of our dreams. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, you have salvaged our economy by removing fuel subsidy, unifying foreign exchange market, vigorous marketing of Nigeria to the world while attracting foreign investment, provision of fertilizers to boost agriculture, entrenchment of national unity through a balanced appointment of service chiefs and ministers. With the tribunal affirming your mandate as the 16th president of Nigeria, we felicitate with you because we are confident that the journey to a greater Nigeria has just begun. Mr. President, as we await the rolling out of 11,000 CNG buses, please be assured of our unalloyed support at all times. This message is powered by Dr. Musa Mohammed, Metakobi 1, the National President, Ritian. Uproad Super!
Thanks for staying with us. Now we begin this segment on health matters. The federal government will be working with states and development partners towards addressing major health concerns in the country. Minister of Health Ali Pate stated this when he visited Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf at the Kano Government House. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Muhammad Ali Pate is the first minister to visit Kano, and the state is the first to be visited by him since the inauguration of the Federal Executive Council by President Bola Tinubu. As Health Minister, he is leading a team of representatives of various development partners who are in Nigeria to render support in addressing various health issues. He and other members of the delegation briefed Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf on their findings after touring some health facilities and meeting with critical stakeholders in the sector. Major intervention is in the fight against malaria, which claims hundreds of lives yearly.
They planned it deliberately because they want to support Nigeria to improve the health of its population. But that support will only manifest if leaders at the federal level and the state level work together.
We appreciate this concern. I want to assure you that we continue to reciprocate.
While thanking the delegation for the proposed intervention, Governor Yusuf also highlighted some milestones recorded in the health sector during his first 100 days in office. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, Nta News.
Sickle cell anemia is a genetic red blood cell disorder in humans and has claimed many lives globally. Efforts to increase public knowledge about challenges experienced by patients, families and caregivers of people living with this condition necessitated the declaration of the month of September as the International Awareness Month for Sickle Cell. With Nigeria having the highest number of people with sickle cell anemia globally, Aisha Abubakar Yaya takes a look at the causes, management and awareness level of sickle cell anemia.
2008, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution that recognizes sickle cell anemia as a public health problem and one of the world's most genetic diseases that need urgent attention. Research reveals that millions of people are living with sickle cell anemia globally, out of which about 6 million are Nigerians, making the country have the highest number of people with sickle cell. 29-year-old Damilola Ajibade is living with sickle cell anemia.
When it comes to job opportunity, that discrimination, when it comes to partners, that discriminations, a lot of discrimination because they feel sickle cell is a death sentence and they feel that, oh, they are burden.
Dr. Amdala Isa, a consultant pediatrician with the Children's Specialist Hospital in Ilorin, says the hospital attends to not less than 6 sickle cell children on a daily basis. This, she says, is worrisome and requires concerted efforts to raise more awareness among Nigerians.
Provision of all the treatment modalities will not reduce the burden, but we should let people be aware, especially those secondary school children. They should know their genotype such that we can, in a way, reduce the burden in our environment. And also, a carrier is not supposed to marry a carrier. That is, AS should not marry AS, because both of them may transfer that abnormal gene they have to their child.
My findings revealed that many Nigerian youths are ignorant about their genotype.
Do you know your genotype? No, I don't know my genotype, because I've not done any tests like that.
No, I don't know my genotype, because I don't have any reason to run such tests. No, I don't know my genotype, because I haven't had the opportunity to do it.
If the world can support survivors of sickle cells and advocacy for genotype testing is increased, Nigeria and indeed the world will have less sickle cell burden and everyone will be better for it. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, Nta News.
Thank you, Aisha, for that report. It is important that you know your genotype before marriage. Very, very important. Now, the federal government and United Nations Children's Fund are discussing modalities to meet identified funding gaps of $9.2 billion in Nigeria's water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector and end open defecation by 2025. This was part of the agenda as Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, and Minister of State Water Resources and Sanitation received an audience from UNICEF officials in Abuja. Oluseyi Adiago reports.
At the end of January 2023, only 74 out of the 774 local government areas in Nigeria have been certified open defecation-free. Slow pace, no doubt, with just about 2 years left to the target year of Nigeria being an open defecation-free nation. In UNICEF reports, 1 out of every 3 people does not have access to safe, clean drinking water, and 37% of children at the national level are suffering from stunting, an irreversible condition which signals a future of human capital deficit.
How can we learn from states like Jigawa and really inspire and motivate other states?
And as we work for children, we cannot divide the children. A children requires all kinds of support.
And that's where we want to have more integrated approach.
The leadership of the ministry is now in the vanguard of championing the watch sector to achieve the desired results.
When we are talking about economic growth, we cannot leave out the issue of health. And we cannot actually achieve good health 100% without mentioning water and sanitation. And these are the areas that UNICEF have come in and are contributing positively.
The ministers expressed readiness to work with relevant actors not only to help achieve national wash targets, but also the SDG goal 6 of clean water and sanitation for all by 2030. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, Nta News.
Poor parental control, laziness, peer pressure, and poverty are some of the identified reasons girls engage in immoral acts. These are the testimonies of some suspects arrested in Gombe at unlawful nightclubs, popularly called gala clubs. Zara Umar Adamu brings us details.
The clampdown on gala houses to mitigate immoral activities, criminality, and security breaches. Over 100 suspects are to face the wrath of the law. Gala houses, which are growing in numbers, usually operate like nightclubs. Some of those arrested seem to be regretting their actions, attributing it to a number of factors.
Due
to what I was doing, I'm calling on other girls to learn a lesson from the happenings around them. Even us that are into the act are only suffering. We are regretting it. I have all I want in my home. It's only stubbornness. Lydia Muhammad, who has been taking alcohol, Indian hemp and drugs, was initiated by a friend.
Before now, only beer I did take. But what we did together, she will give me syrup some more. I will tell her and say no. She will tell me say take. I will take. I will tell her and say, oh, this syrup is very sweet too. I will take it tomorrow. When I don't already take, my eye go blind, my leg go shake, I no feel eat, I no feel talk.
I started the immoral act with my friend, and my sister decided to get me married. All the girls arrested at various gala clubs are remanded at a detention center. Zara Umar Adam, Nta News.
To ensure you make the upbringing of your children your priority. News Extra will continue with our busy businessman, Benny Adams, after this break. To stay.
With Win with the King promo, now you have been offered the opportunity to win lots of fabulous prizes. On the list, MG5 executive cars, millions of naira, tricycles, LED television sets, generators, Android phones, rechargeable lamps, bags of pure cement, pure branded t-shirts, and an abundance of 200, 500, and 1,000 naira recharge cards. Buy just a bag of Boa cement. Look out for the scratch card inside. Scratch to reveal your prize. Then call the number on the scratch card to redeem your prize at any Boa Redemption Center located in the 36 states capital, or call for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Boa Cement, the king of strength.
Give me a Risco tomato instead. I go give you imported tomato. Be like saying that people like you, the wicked our country people. You see this Risco, Richiku or Nachiku, They take correct natural ingredients, make them. If not made in Nigeria, like a Risco, get many benefits. It help grow our economy. And job plentiful, nyafo nyafo. And when you put them inside mouth, it's sweet and it dig one for.
Buy made in Nigeria. Buy a Risco product.
Cancer can be a devastating illness. Cervical cancer can be even more devastating, knowing it can be prevented. Oh yes. From the 25th to the 29th of September 2023, the Primary Healthcare Development Agency will commence the first phase of routine vaccinations for girls between the ages of 9 to 14 years in 16 states of the Federation. Parents and guardians of girls between the ages of 9 and 14 years are encouraged to visit primary healthcare centers and general hospitals in these 16 states to get vaccinated against HPV, the causative organism of cervical cancer. Together, we can raise awareness and prevent cervical cancer from taking more lives. This message is brought to you by MESH, an NGO of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. For more information about MESH and their activities, please visit meshnigeria.org or their social media pages at MESH Nigeria on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Or call 0809 933 2299. MESH, good quality life for the less privileged people in Nigeria.
You and your hair go through a lot. The heat, rain, chaos. It's a non-stop war against total breakdown. But just like you, your hair can stay strong no matter what. Mega Growth Break-Free Daily Leave-In Strengthener for all hair types is infused with a unique blend of natural oils and conditioning proteins that helps protect your hair. Mega Growth Break Free, your daily defense against breakage.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for thrilling sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash out, and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 100,000 Naira. Betano.ng. The game starts now.
Helen Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
The next house is yours.
Walk the talk. It's a walk I've walked many times. It's okay, everyone. Not since, well, before, these tough stains would stay on my clothes, and all the scrubbing, it would fade my colors. But thanks to Ariel Color Expert, not since, well.
It lifts the toughest stains, keeping your clothes bright, wash after wash.
O'Shea, Ariel Color Expert. Let's get this party started.
New Ariel, 5 times color protect power.
Good to know you're still here on the Extra Touch, and it's time to talk business. Now, experts at the Association of Capital Market Academics of Nigeria say the policy measures being rolled out in the first 100 days of the new administration are playing significant roles in growing the nation's economy. Busted Abel reports that the briefing also applauded the recent engagements by the president with international investors in India and the UAE, and hopes that pledges made by the investors materializes to forex liquidity and job opportunities.
Means embarking on deliberate efforts to diversify the export base. In the meantime, the government should give support to the Central Bank of Nigeria in the implementation of the RT 200 program, especially in relation to port reforms, while it works on the ease of doing business to pave way for increased foreign investments.
And the Nigerian youth have expressed readiness in ensuring that the present administration's declaration of emergency in agriculture records the desired effect.
Have surge in fintech in Nigeria currently. If we can have that also in agriculture, it will encourage young people to come in, and the interest should be single-digit interest rate, and let it be soft, especially if we can take out collateral. It will improve a lot. It will improve agriculture in Nigeria.
Look at the markets. Nigeria's equities market recorded its first positive close this week, rising by 338 billion naira as investors further positioned for interim dividend in reaction to banks' half-year scorecards. At the end of today's trading on the session, a total of 569.6 million shares in 8,404 deals, corresponding to a market value of 8.7 billion naira, were traded. Compared with the previous trading day, today shows 12% decline in volume, 21% decline in turnover, and 20% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 36.9 trillion naira. Owando recorded the highest volume of 163 million traded shares, followed by Access Holdings 63.6 million and Fidelity Bank 39.6 million. That is business news. Network news continues with Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth, is it extra?
Thank you so much, Benny, and nice doing business with you. Now, a bit from the oil and gas sector. Over a decade after Petroleum Trust Development Fund, PDTF Skills Development Center in Port Harcourt was conceived, the federal government is taking steps to ensure its completion towards training of low and middle cadre manpower for the oil and gas industry. Kingsley Amajiri reports that Minister of State Petroleum Heineken Lukpobiri was at the site to appraise progress of work.
The PTDF Skills Development Center was conceived in 2010 to train low and middle level manpower for the oil and gas sector. Construction work commenced in 2011 with various aspects of the project at different levels of completion. The long time frame since the project conception resulted in delays in the completion. NCDMB's intervention increased the overall level of project completion.
So we did approach PTDF and said, this skill center that you are building, why don't we get together and get it functional? The major part of it, in terms of value and the rest of it, or we took as NCDMB to say, we will complete them.
The Minister of State Petroleum is at this site to inspect the level of work and also appraise the challenges to the completion of this project.
Minister of State Petroleum Heineken Lukpobiri, after meeting with the stakeholders and tour of the facility, says the federal government is poised to ensuring quick completion and usage of the facility.
This project will be completed within a short time and be put, to use. This project is more important now than ever.
At the moment, progress work, as reported by the officials of the PTDF, is at about 80% completion.
So far, work at the Vocational Center Tower Building, workshop, library, auditorium and residential homes have been completed. The hostels and cafeteria projects are still ongoing. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, Nta News.
The impact investing ecosystem in Nigeria is set for further growth as the federal government reaffirms commitment to facilitating favorable investment climate through policy-targeted incentives. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu gave the assurance at a meeting with members of the Nigerian National Advisory Board for Impact Investing in his office. Neka Oko reports.
Impact investing, a socio-economic concept by the Rockefeller Foundation, is gaining traction in Nigeria as investors continue to seek ways of utilizing financial resources to address pressing social and environmental issues while generating financial returns. But this has not been without challenges.
So what are we trying to do with the National Advisory Board is to establish collaborations with partners from the supply side of capital, the demand side, intermediation of capital, as well as policy stakeholders to build this ecosystem. We believe that with policy we can unlock these barriers and channel capital to where it is needed the most.
The administration will do what is necessary to ensure that the macroeconomic environment supports investment decisions.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning also met with representatives from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The discussions revolved around collaborations in the areas of healthcare, agriculture, and resource allocation.
The ministry stands ready to cooperate promptly with the foundation.
Over the past 10 years, we invested around $2 billion US dollar in Nigeria. And we are going through a strategy refresh that will allow us to expand our program.
The foundation commended Nigeria's efforts in polio eradication and the progress towards achieving universal healthcare coverage and pledged continued support in this regard. In Abuja, Neka Oko, Nta News.
To food crisis, regenerative agriculture has been identified as the missing link in tackling climate-induced food insecurity across many regions of the world. Yohanna Hassan reports that this is the popular view of global researchers that converged on Kano with attention on climate-resilient agriculture to address global food crisis.
Climate change has been one of the lead issues causing serious setbacks to food production, with dry lands mostly affected, resulting in inefficiency and heavy losses incurred by farmers. Fatima Zara Buhari is a researcher on the dynamics of sorghum production who is here to partake in cross-fertilization of ideas on enhancing yields and efficiency in crop production.
In the field, I have 1,430 sorghum genotypes currently. We're evaluating them, we're checking their iron and zinc, and then we are thinking of biofortifying them and then selecting them to the next level.
The target is to improve the livelihood of the vulnerable.
The most important here is the networking that is being built, people working together from different countries, from different regions.
Some key sustainable suggestions in many of these challenging areas. And I think our scientists have done a very good job.
It's not only challenges, but also opportunities. We address the challenges, we address the opportunities that emerge, and we key into whatever emerging problems and opportunities that are available at the time.
You know, these technologies we are improving is for them to face the challenge of climate change and food security. So if farmers have increased output, you know that the food security issue will be solved.
As a center for excellence, the Center for Dryland Agriculture, Bayero University, Kano, has marked ways to explore opportunities to attain food security through restoration and natural resource management. With this kind of discussions by professionals in the agricultural field, hopes are high among people like Fatima and many farmers for better yield, especially in the drylands. In Kano, Yohanna Hassan, Nta News.
The trans-Saharan trade has no doubt impacted the West African community, with Nigeria still sowing the seed of one of the most traded produce of the trade routes. The produce still have a huge prospect, but a lot leaves much to be desired in growing and harvesting the sweet fruits. Abdullah Mohammed will tell us.
It's a produce that defies not only the harsh conditions of the Sahara Desert, but colonizing our tongues with its sweetness spanning centuries.
It tastes as sweet as honey, and so the investment opportunity in the production and sale of that palm. About 21.7 billion naira is expected to be invested in the industry globally, and Nigeria will also like to play in that investment opportunity.
We will take them to those places where they can learn and come back to impart on our farmers. And to do just that, those who nurture the soaring plants must understand what makes the imported dates ahead of the indigenous. Apart from the test, weights, the nagging challenge of the blind planting of male seeds of the date produce must be a thing of the past.
In a typical date palm farm like this one behind me, it is very common for you to find some of them that will continue to hit the skies like this one, growing taller every year without producing any kind of fruit on it. The problem lies here. The seed, it is very identical and very difficult for farmers to differentiate between the productive and non-productive ones.
Hope for the hopeless came on a platter of gold when I stepped into the Center for Dryland Agriculture at Bayero University, Kano. Here, researchers have solved that nagging problem.
I gathered our researchers and they were able to use molecular biology techniques to identify the sex at early stage of the seedling, from extracting the DNA of the leaves and identifying the markers for male sex. They can identify male or female at the seedling stage.
And this has given almost 100% yield to farmers on the ground. So that is one of the success of that center. We have many of them. The center has been assisting farmers around this area and in northwestern part of Nigeria with a lot of research discoveries, and this has improved yield and the economic condition of farmers.
Going by this development, a critical push is what date farmers in Nigeria need to play a critical role in the global date market. But that can only be if the outcome of the research is made available to the farmers. In Abuja, Abdullah Muhammad, Nta News.
I must tell you, if you haven't tasted that fruit, it is yummy and the benefits very, very much. Leather shoes, bags, belts, headwears and other fashion accessories come from hides and skin of animals. And for more than a century, the old Kanem Borno Empire, Maiduguri to be precise, has remained the main source for exporter of high-grade hides and skin to the global community and the domestic market. A trade that raked in a huge fortune not only to the merchants but the government at both state and federal levels. Fatima takes a look at the highs and lows of this more than a century-old trade.
Hides and skin is one of the pre-independence trans-Saharan economic activities that has to date continued to promote commerce in Borno State, despite the more than a decade-old insurgency and many other challenges. The business continues to wax stronger. Hides and skin are renewable raw materials produced in large quantities in northern parts of Nigeria like Kano, Katsina and Maiduguri. The animal byproduct is an enduring boost to the nation's economy, currently used as important and valuable in producing leather materials such as footwear, car seats, belts, bags, home interior decorations and cultural artifacts, amongst others, as well as pomo, which is popular delicacy amongst the Yorubas, Igbos in Nigeria. The question now here is, what are the changes hides and skin businesses has undergone during and after insurgency?
The market is not like before. We have been losing our money. Boko Haram, they burn our motors in the road from Gambaru to Maiduguri here. Almost like 6 or 7 trailers.
Before the insurgency, we are offloading about 10 to 15 lorries per day.
The borders were closed for a long period, and therefore bringing in the hides from far away really dwindled over time, and therefore there were no enough stock even to sell. And now with the removal of the subsidy, I think how it will affect the business of hides and skin is by increasing the cost of transportation.
Hides and skin is a major contributor to economic life of Maiduguri, especially youths engaged at every level. Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, has to date remained a hub for import and export of hides and skin, with growing potentials increased by the livestock production and trade in the region. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, Nta News.
Thank you, Fatima. It's time to take another break. More reports ahead.
Now my
the delicious, nourishing, and satisfying taste of Golden Penny Semovita. My soup's first choice.
Every mom, a treasure beyond measure. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Raining season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Show.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
Oh, I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
The next house is yours.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Something new is about to hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTime's inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTime's antenna and satellite signal. StarTime Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTime's highest bouquet for free, automatic system update. More benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Sundial TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. Committed to the welfare of workers during and upon retirement, the Enugu State government is planning to build 20,000 mass housing facilities for the state civil servants within the next 1 year. This came to the fore when members of the House of Representatives held a committee on non-remittance to National Housing Fund on oversight called on Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State. Chika Ugu reports.
Like every other worker, it is the dream of every civil servant to own a house of his or her own upon retirement. However, it is an uphill task for many given the level of inflation in the country and disparity in purchasing power. It is in line with this that government, among other measures, introduced several schemes to help civil servants achieve this dream. This necessitated the establishment of an ad hoc committee by the 10th House of Representatives to visit the 36 states in the country and investigate their level of compliance in remitting to the National Housing Fund and its utilization. The first port of call was Enugu State, where they met with the governor.
We are so happy to see that Enugu State have been remitting to the
the National Housing Fund. We still saw that the local government needs to do more in terms of remittance. But because of that remittance, you are one of the states that has one of the highest allocation within the country.
Glad you're here to also look at the utilization of the funds, because the ultimate goal for us is to ensure that these workers have access to houses, and that we do everything as government to enable that.
The ad hoc committee inspected the various housing projects under the NHF scheme in Enugu. Chika Ugu, NTA News.
September 13 is a special day for the tech community worldwide. It is World Programmers Day. The day is marked in celebration of the invaluable contributions programmers make in their role in shaping the digital landscape, which is relied upon every day. Toybat Anifowushi tells us more.
The impact of programmers extends far beyond the tech industry, influencing many sectors like healthcare, education, transportation, finance, and lots more, says Benjamin Oni, a young programmer with years of experience creating websites and mobile applications.
Programming has a lot of impact on our daily life. It's like the magic that runs our phones and computers, and it makes them do all these incredible things. So yeah, it's what lets us chat with our friends, watch videos online and YouTube, just normal daily activities.
He identifies some of the challenges he faces on a daily basis.
For example, there are different aspects to programming. You could be building something finance related, something healthcare related, something security related. And aside that, you could be doing things that are not as critical, such as making games or like chatting applications. So for the critical ones, for example, challenges would have to be being very careful.
For this tech expert, he believes that the government can leverage on revenue potential from the ICT sector, particularly programming.
By promoting export, we encourage Nigerian technology companies to explore international markets and export their products and services. So another way in which government can leverage revenue, most especially from programming, cyber security, meaning to protect digital assets and build trust in an online service, so that there will not be any this sabotage or intruding into one asset.
Programmers are said to be the unsung heroes of the digital age and thus should be celebrated. In Abuja, Toyiba Anifowushi, NTA News.
State has banned public officials from using government vehicles and facilities for personal use, with a warning that such act will no longer be condoned. The governor made the pronouncement shortly after presiding over the swearing-in of 9 newly appointed permanent secretaries into the state civil service. Yunisat Suleiman completes the story.
The conduct of government business largely depends on quality of its workforce, working environment and equipment that enable public officials to accomplish assigned tasks for effective and efficient service delivery to the citizenry. This perhaps is the reason why Governor Memala Buni, at the swearing-in ceremony of 9 newly appointed permanent secretaries, banned public officials from using government vehicles and facilities for personal use at the expense of government work.
Let me warn that government will not condone wastage or diversion of government resources to sabotage our efforts towards providing services to the people.
To the new permanent secretaries, he charged them to be good team players and to work harmoniously with their commissioners, directors and other staff of their respective ministries and departments for the attainment of set targets for maximum results.
As we undertake our second and final term of office, we will ensure that government resources are judiciously and effectively used to improve the welfare of our people.
The new permanent secretaries, immediately after taking oaths of allegiance and office, were deployed to various ministries and departments to reinvigorate administrative machinery to deliver more dividends of democracy in the state. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Let's take our last break. News Extra. We'll be back shortly.
It was like a decent fashion designer only gets home at midnight.
Midway.
Man like Osimhen, Papa just the chop Italian league like Oha.
These are real housewives of Abuja. Those women are fire. What does OJ say again? My relationship with money is alhamdulillah.
Because they wear uniform, you want to treat people anyhow. Imagine this officer, I will clear out one line. Don't cost. Bruh, come on there. Face no matter. The biggest dragon for Westeros, now small picking face am, climb down, right am like Formula 1. Yeah, catch me.
He found the gold and asked her for just shaking me piece of the pie, and she killed him for it.
Obini, fair women, no.
No one tells a story like we do. Showmax, Africa's original streaming service.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster. I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped. My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Hello, with everybody for you.
Say hello to GoTV's newest package. GoTV Super Plus has all the great channels you love on GoTV Super. Plus, big-time international and kids channels the whole family will love. Plus, plenty of live Premier League action on Super Sports Premier League channel. It's the package you asked for and we listened. GoTV Super Plus, available from 1 August. GoTV, love it.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather? Why did you let him go? He might fall ill. And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with germ defense gives you protection. Raining season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Show.
Beginnings to the extraordinary. We've witnessed incredible bonds, the rise of legends in the most challenging of times, and the most unforgettable moments that kept us at the edge of our seat. Everything up till now was just the beginning. Legends go head-to-head as timelines have collapsed for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to Big Brother Naija All-Stars.
Proudly sponsored by Money Point, powering dreams. In association with HFM, online trading at its finest.
And next is a look at the weather prospects for tomorrow, Thursday.
At have you join us. We expect to start off the day with patches of cloud and sunshine intervals across most parts of the country, especially the eastern axis. However, we expect to have early morning thunderstorms across parts of Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Adamawa, Taraba, and Borno, extending down to parts of FCT, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Edo, and the stretch of the coastal cities. We expect more activities by afternoon as thunderstorms are expected across most parts of the north central, and the southern parts of the country. Let's take a look at the forecast across some selected cities. See you again.
And that's News Extra today. Thank you so much for watching. Love Nigeria. Remain patriotic. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good night.